Now I would like to ask our first speaker, according to the schedule, Miss Marina Ilić, our beloved professor, to give us her presentation. And like our previous speakers mentioned, if we have someone who is mastermind of the Green Agenda here in Serbia from the academic perspective, it's Professor Marina Ilić, and I'm very happy to have her today. And I hope that we will learn a lot from this presentation. Professor,
thank you.
The floor is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, dear Chairman, State Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear colleagues. As you heard and as you can see today, we have very nice weather, and I'm glad that you can enjoy in Belgrade. But just a few days ago, as State Secretary mentioned as well, we had serious floods in Serbia. Heavy rain caused rivers to overflow and to flood households and to damage infrastructure. In addition, last winter in Serbia was the second warmest ever. Last summer, the summer last year, was the third warmest, hottest ever in Serbia. And it is happening not only in Serbia, all over around. The planet wants to tell us that we have to change something. We have to change the approach. We have to foster sustainable development, trying combat climate change and preserve our natural resources. We have to identify key areas for improvement and propose actionable solutions to propel our countries towards the greener and more sustainable future. And Serbia sees the Green Agenda as an opportunity for development and modernization of technologies to contribute to decarbonization efforts and meet the goals of Paris Climate Agreement, to reduce environmental pollution, air, water, and soil, and to align Serbian legislation with the EU acquis for Green Agenda in all 5 areas. It is my great pleasure and true honor that I can share with you today some steps which Serbia is making in this field to implement Green Agenda. As the State Secretary already mentioned, Serbia adopted Green Agenda in November 2020, and since that time, implementation of Green Agenda is Serbia's strategic goal. In the past period, Serbia made progress in alignment with the EU Green Agenda legislation, but implementation is still a challenge for us. Serbia's economy is carbon intensive and also has other adverse environmental effects. Nevertheless, as you heard already, Serbia is making progress to integrate climate action into other sectors. So Serbia signed and ratified the Paris Climate Agreement in 2017. Serbia adopted low carbon development strategy in the meantime. Serbia is in the process to approve climate change adaptation program, and also National Energy and Climate Plan is in the process for adoption. There are also many other activities in this field in promotion and implementation of Green Agenda. But I would allow myself to say that preparation of environmental protection strategy, Green Agenda for Serbia, is one of the most important, and it is prepared under the Ministry of Environmental Protection, and we have very intensive process and with wide participation of key stakeholders. And today, actually, because the strategy is still in preparation, I will talk more about the process, and I hope, as State Secretary said, we will finish the strategy, complete it, and as well as consultation by the end of the year, and it can be adopted at the beginning of next year. The project is financed by the EU, also supported by Swedish International Development Agency, EIB, as well as government of Switzerland, and it is implemented by the UNDP. The process is led by the Ministry of Environmental Protection, and the team of experts is engaged to prepare the strategy. At the beginning, we actually started to spread out responsibilities of the Ministry of Environmental Protection around 5 pillars. Well-known decarbonization, circular economy, depollution, biodiversity, and sustainable food systems and rural development. But as Green Agenda is not only the environment, we have strong cooperation with the ministry in charge for energy, especially for the Pillar 1 decarbonization, and with the ministry in charge for agriculture regarding the Pillar number 5, sustainable food systems and rural development. Our methodology was developed in 7 work packages, and at the moment we are in the work package number 4, so we are developing the strategy. As I mentioned already, wide participative process is envisaged, and in several levels actually. We have working group established by the Ministry of Environmental Protection, which is directly involved in the preparation of the strategy. So I'm not talking about consultation process, this is second level, but working group is working together with the experts in development of the strategy. Next level, we identified focus groups as well as donor community and IFIs. And we also have e-consultations via the website, so for wide public. Working group was established in December last year by the Ministry of Environmental Protection, and you can see that the members are all the ministries, because, as I said, Green Agenda is not only the environment, we have all representatives of all other sectors involved. But, of course, not all the ministries. We have other institutions relevant for Green Agenda, Hydrometeorological Institute, Environmental Protection Agency, Nature Protection Institute, also public companies for water management and for forests, Chamber of Commerce of Serbia, Association of Cities and Municipalities, of course, representatives of key universities in Serbia, and representatives of civil society organizations. Believe it or not, the working group has more than 130 members, active members. Even with this number of people involved, we found that this is not enough. And after preparation of the strategy, we will have consultation process, so we will have presentations and discussion with the focus groups. With the working group, how that looks like. So we envisaged 4 two-days workshops with the working group for discussion on the topics. And at the first workshop, we prepared and then discussed and changed, identified the problems and challenges with the working group in January this year. At the second workshop, 2 days workshop, we developed specific objectives corresponding to 5 pillars. Then on the third workshop in April, we developed measures and activities for achieving the objectives. And we still have one more workshop, which will held in 2 weeks' time, where we will discuss about impact assessment of the selected measures. We will finally define the indicators, discuss about cost estimation and sources of financing for the strategy. Our intention is to present first draft of the strategy to the working group on 31st July this year. And here you can see, you cannot read, but this is the point, you can see just you cannot read. I'm joking. Actually, I just wanted to show you how the structure of the Green Agenda environmental strategy looks like. So it is actually top-down, but also bottom-up approach, because we have 5 pillars. You can see decarbonization, circular economy, reduction of pollution, biodiversity and ecosystems, and sustainable agriculture. We added one more area which will cover horizontal issues, means strengthening institutional capacities, environmental impact assessment, strategic environmental assessment improvement, Aarhus, implementation of Aarhus Convention, gender issue, and also cooperation with scientific community, etc. For each of the pillars, we established overall objectives, and for each overall objective, we identified specific objectives. So for the pillar 1, decarbonization, we have mitigation and adaptation, and it directly corresponds to the lower hierarchy level on the within the policy level, let's say, and this is exactly low carbon development strategy. For adaptation, this is a climate change adaptation program. So you can see that all of these new recently adopted documents are, of course, linked to the objectives of the umbrella strategy, Green Agenda strategy, and we also considered not only these recently adopted or policy documents in the process of approval, but also strategies, other sectoral strategies which are relevant for these specific pillars. Like industrial strategy, artificial intelligence strategy, smart specialization strategy, etc. It was really a challenge for us to combine, to include all of these existing documents, actually, which are in line and in compliance with the EU requirements, with the national legislation, etc. But I think we are on the good road, and we are close to finalize this structure. Once we complete this, as I said, it should be at the end of July. We will, in September, start consultation process. Now, it was preparation together with the working group, then consultation process with the focus groups. We are planning to have in September and October. And as focus groups, we identify business sector, of course, and we count on to have support of the Chambers of Commerce of Serbia for that discussion. Then, of course, academic scientific community, which means faculties and institutes. We have representatives of universities in the working group, but as I said, we are considering that this is not enough, and we will have wider discussion. Then we also identify local self-governments. So we are planning to have 5 presentations around Serbia, one in Belgrade, Novi Sad, Niš, Užice, and Bor, where all surrounding municipalities we will be invited. So in that case, we will cover all the local self-governments in Serbia to have a chance to learn about environmental green agenda strategy, and of course to give us comments, opinions, and to help us to make the document as good as possible. And of course, civil society organizations. We already have contacts and we exchange opinions. They are also members of the working group, but we will in addition have a consultation meeting in September or October with them. Of course, with the donor community and IFIs the same, we will have a meeting and present the draft strategy. Regarding public participation, draft strategy will be available on the website e-consultations for comments and it will be in the period from August to October this year. And we expect at the end of the year, in December, to collect all the comments, to revise the draft and prepare final draft of the strategy for approval in December this year. And we are really committed to achieve this date. Thank you for your attention.